So while I'm being held up with, I don't have the pieces I need to finish the cage and the blazer, figured I'd continue on with this Turbo 400. There's three things I need to do, pre-build stuff. This is the forward drum. This needs a little hole drilled in it. So this trans brake that I got, this is one of those Speedmaster ones. Every time I contact them, they send me the instructions for the other one that has the ball in it with the internal solenoid. They don't send me the one with the external solenoid. And I found on FTI's, I think it's FTI's website, they have one that's identical to this with the external solenoid. So I'm just using that set of instructions, and I'm just kind of going with that. So I have to drill a small hole, like where the bleed hole is here. I have to go on the opposite side. So I've already taken out, this is a 16 element sprag, and I put in a 34 element sprag. I've already done that. I did that the other day. This has the coil style snap ring, which this is the big heavy duty one that goes in the case. This also came with one here. I'm not really liking how it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't want to sit down in here. I know the guys will like TIG weld this, so it's impossible for it to snap off. So I might do that. I don't know. But that's something that has to be done to this drum yet. I got to drill the hole and figure out. I know they were talking about they were machining this lip off here to get more clutches in there, but I don't think I'm going to do all that, just for the fact that haven't really planned that in, and I kind of want to get this together this weekend. I don't want something else to throw me a curveball. I've just recently discovered that I have access to machining capabilities, and I haven't really set everything up with the guy, so I don't want to get myself into something and then get myself into trouble. But there is actually an aftermarket piston that these springs, so along with this clutch brake, along with this trans brake, you have to replace these springs, which are these guys here. Everybody complains about changing these because they're a real pain in the butt. But the aftermarket one has holes in it where these springs just sit in there, and then you just use the top plate, and it's easy to go together, which I don't mind. I'll take it apart. I've done them before. I don't know what this other thing is in here. Let me see if I can open it. So when I made that video of putting the pump together, I put the whole thing together, and what is this thing? I truly don't know what this is. Maybe I can figure this out later. I completely forgot to leave the regulator out. So regulator's got to go back in. I threw the spring in here. This is the spring that it came with. A lot of the guys talk about just shimming this a little bit to get more pressure. It came with its own spring, so I'm not shimming nothing. I'm putting it back together with the spring that they gave me. The problem is, see that little hole right there? This pin has to come from the inside, which means I have to take this pump back apart, which is no big deal, but lack of planning on my part. But I can get this back in here, so we're good to go. So first things first, replace what I need to replace as far as bushings. Prepare all the drums to be put together with clutches and everything, so they're ready to be installed. The last thing I need to do is prepare this case. I just put in this piston here. This is where that solenoid goes, and I changed the piston out with the one that was in there for the trans brake, so I have to take that back out. I just wanted to make sure it fit. The other thing I did, you see this nut here? This is a case saver. When this gets installed like when you build everything up, you get to this point, you put a little bit of silicone in there just so it doesn't leak. But this piston, see the bolt goes in there, you don't use that piston anymore. You don't have the engine brake, that band doesn't even go. That's where the band would normally go, this little guy. Along with the trans brake, this doesn't get installed. So there's other guys out there that do more detailed build videos. I'm just going over what I have to do to continue on with my little truck here. figured I'd take you guys for a ride to show you, you know, what I do on my weekends anyhow. And that's it. I got to figure out where all these go. I know like these are here, so I got to change those out. This drum here gets one. Yep, that's this one. Tail shaft. That's not a tail shaft bushing. That's not a tail shaft bushing. I don't know. Or is that the tail shaft bushing? I'm getting them mixed up. No, it's definitely not a tail shaft bushing. Anyway, I got to go through all these, figure out where all these bushings go, get them all put in, and we'll continue on from there. So for right now, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to mess with this. That'll get these two components completely done. I'm going to build the clutches up in it and move on to the next thing. And I have to file this case yet. I want to deburr it, take all these rough edges off because these cases are pretty nasty. I did clean this, but you see there's still paper in there. And now that I have access to a hot tank, I'm going to run it through the hot tank and really clean it good. And we got the kit where we're going to rollerize the back like I did my 4L80E. And oh, I got to tap this for the overflow. I think I don't know, I'm kind of all over the place with my videos, but this little fitting is going to go in here. I got to tap that, put that in there. So we're going to get there. I don't know what this is. I really honestly don't know what this is. Hopefully it'll come to me. I'll find it in one of these manuals. I should have done more homework. The FTI I think was actually like the same price. I should have gone with the brand name just for the instructions so I know everything's identical. That's you know, shame on me for doing that. But anyway, I just put this together so I know how this goes, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put this together, move on to the next thing. I just got back. I pushed all new bushings in, all this stuff. I completely forgot the case to go in the parts cleaner. So this needs to be, I need to finish preparing it, and that's interesting. I need to finish preparing it so I can bring it back over there, give it one good final cleaning, and then I can begin assembling this stuff. I had to finish the trans brake stuff. So the trans brake stuff, I had to drill this hole in here, which I've done with, it's a 1/16 inch, which mine was slightly over. This drum has to be assembled. You leave that one seal out of there like you're doing a dual feed. I need to cut this out, at least 50% of the partition. So I've chose to do this with a tile cutter with a little rotary tool here. So I'm gonna set you up on the tripod here. You can watch me cut that out. I know you can see the hole there. I know you didn't see me drill that, but it was very uneventful. I used the drill here. The main thing is when you drill this, don't go nuts with it. Go nice and easy. You don't want to break the drill bit in that. A lot of guys do that. I've done it myself. I used another set here. It was a number 52 out of here. I don't think Harbor Freight sells these anymore. I went to get this same kit, and this is what they're selling now. And these are very dull. I couldn't even drill the hole with that. So anyway, I'll get you up on the thing here. There's a couple other things I need to do, but I think I can do that after the case is clean. This is all just for trans brake, which kind of, they've been doing this forever. See, this is for the TCI. This is kind of, see, I got the billet valve body, but I think it gets installed the same way. I've got one other spring. I do not know where the spring goes. This valve gets changed. That goes under the solenoid. I have yet to figure out where this one spring goes, so hopefully I'll figure it out. And I do have the PDF that I downloaded from them. Oh, look at this. I don't know. I don't know if this gets installed with it. Honestly, have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know what that spring's for. So, all right, let me sit you on the tripod, and I'll start cutting that hole out. So I know I mentioned this once before, but I'm going to go over it again. When I ordered this trans brake, it here, I'll show you the box. This was the one that I ordered, the one that ends in 1002 from Speedmaster. They sent me the one that ends in 1007. They didn't even send me what I bought. And I spent about a month or so going back and forth with them. I finally got down to they would exchange me for the other one, but like I would have to pay shipping, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I got this one, but every time they sent me instructions, they sent the instructions for the one that ends in 1002, not the one that ends in 1007. This is the one that I got with this style actuator. So with that said, as long as I got the manual, I don't mind using it. I just didn't know, where everything went. So my thing was going through it, I didn't know where the spring went. In the instructions, and there's a couple things here that you should know, like says how to use place shifter in the neutral position, apply trans brake button. Do not use in reverse. I think putting it in neutral and applying the trans brake button, yeah, how to use reverse. So to go in reverse, I have to put it in neutral and push the button to go in reverse. Apparently, if I put this in reverse, something bad's going to happen. I remember reading somewhere that if you put it in reverse and hit the button or something, it'll just explode the transmission. So I got to keep that in mind. So this is all the instructions all the way down. Where did I see it at? Here it is. So step 14, install provided modulator and manual valves. Install small shiny spring on modulator valve and install valve into case. So I've been playing with this. This is the modulator valve they're talking about. This, I just brought this up here to show you guys so we're not confused, but this was the vacuum actuated one. I'm going to get this out of here now just because I don't want it up here. And I'm going to put this one aside too. You can see the two here. This one's like cut. They made some modifications. I'm going to put this in here. So to make this thing work, you have to put this in here. I didn't know where this went, and I kind of thought it went on this side because of this lip that's cut, but it's making sense to me now. So let me put a little lube on this. So that's where that goes. That spring forces it to come back. All right. And then we got this guy. You got to wiggle it around a little bit. See how it wants to push that? If you wiggle it around, it will. Let me put a little bit of lube in there. She's not wanting to go. This is what I'm trying to get it to do. It's not the way to do it. There we go. So all you got to do is apply some voltage to this and it will actuate that valve. And that's how the trans brake gets actuated to be turned on. So I figured that part out. That's one thing that I was somewhat worried about. All right, so we're done with that. That's actually good. I'm going to turn this up. That's done. Move on to the next thing. So what I'm attempting to do now, I want to rollerize the back of this. That's the 3-tang washer, and this is the bushing that goes up against that, very first thing you put in there. In order to rollerize it, you have to push the bushing up just a little bit so it sticks out. This is a Sonex kit here. That's interesting. Let me see something here. So that's fascinating. They finally made this big enough to fit over this. Huh. Normally, you would put this in backwards and they'd use the normal bearing. But apparently Sonex has made new bearings and washers. I'm glad I'm showing you guys this. I'm learning something here. What I was going to do, the reason I'm up here, the two things where the speedometer gear goes, I was going to grind these off and push it in backwards to make this stick out a little bit. But it's not looking like I have to do that. So, stay. So we do that by measuring these, which 0.156. I'm going to lock that down. Bearing needs a little. And these are different size. That's too much. Oh, that's tight. That's tight. So let me see what the original one was. $155. And what was this? 159. What are these? So it's 13. 13, so those two are the same. And 19. What was this by itself? 40, so wow. I think one of these shims in this bearing is where we need to be. So my next question is, how thick is this? So that's perfect. All right, well, let me put this bushing in and move on. There we go. It's below the bearing. That's pretty slick. The last time I did this, they just used like a turbo 350 pump bearing, and it's a little smaller, and it didn't go around the case saver. So now we got this nifty case saver. That's pretty cool. I'm really liking that. Let me lube this bearing up a little bit because I don't want to put it in dry, and get this first whole assembly in here. That's pretty slick. I really like that.